Where should I stand? What is this?
Well, why don't you stand? You'll be right.
Could we get a spouse?
No.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
So if you hold
Senator Kyrsten Sinema got a laugh out of Vice President Mike Pence during her ceremonial swearing-in Thursday at the Senate. Sinema, the first openly bisexual member of the Senate, looked down at a spot on the floor marked for the spouse to stand. Could we get a spouse? She wisecracked. Quickly added, just kidding. Senator Martha McSally, the second female senator from Arizona, took her oath with Pence on a Bible found on a dead sailor on the USS Arizona after the Pearl Harbor attack. Sinema swore her oath on a law book containing the U.S. and Arizona constitutions. Question for you, two bitter rivals now together in the Senate in a very unusual situation. Can they work together?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Eventually. I think it'll take a little while for them to work together, but honestly, there are so many issues that are impacting Arizonans where they're going to be able to come to a consensus on and work together on. It just might not be right away.
Maybe once McSally holds the seat in 2020, if she does?
My hope is for the state of Arizona that they can work together. Again, they had such a contentious election, but I think for the sake of governing, my hope is they can put things aside and start building those bridges to work together.
I think it's going to be really, really tough for them. Let's move on. Let's finish our rundown. The state's top elected officials, Attorney General Mark Brnovich, won a closer than expected race for his second term as AG. He is also termed out. He tacked farther to the right during his term. Meghan, what does Brnovich hope to accomplish during this term and looking ahead beyond that?
So I think with Brnovich, he has a lot of flexibility with the new 4-year term. I think he ran his first re-election campaign, and it was pretty shocking for him. And he said, a quote in Phoenix Magazine this month that said, "I would rather gargle bleach than run again for election." So as far as hopes ahead, you never say never. Although I do think they have a really good track record when it comes to victim rights. They've been doing a lot of restitution when it comes to consumers and going after bad companies. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, a lot more in the criminal space too. So.
For the record, I have a hard time believing politicians who don't like politics.
Well, I think it's easy to say I hated running for office, and it's difficult, and it is a difficult thing to run for office, but this guy is looking at what's next, and I think what's next in his mind is governor. And so we are going to see him govern over the next, or run his office in the Attorney General's office, like someone who wants to be elected statewide again in 4 years. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but there is a lot of room for him to move to the middle and to be a more moderate Attorney General, because we've seen an extremist Attorney General, and I don't think that's what Arizonans want to see.
Okay, finally, very intriguing candidate and elected official. Kathy Hoffman, the superintendent of schools-elect, a Red for Ed supporter, running the Department of Education. First-time candidate, beat two experienced opponents. People often overstate the office's powers. What could she get done? How can she use the bully pulpit that she has?
We saw with Diane Douglas that she was able to weigh in on policies, not teaching evolution, a lot of things, also running the boards of education. There are so many ways where the superintendent of public instruction has an impact on the schools, but one of the main things is compliance and working with the superintendents and all of the districts. She's going to be able to do that. She has an assistant superintendent, a former assistant superintendent working in her office. She just hired a great policy person from DC. I think it's going to be great, and a teacher and an assistant superintendent who know how it works. We're going to see real change.
So that's the important stuff. It's kind of a dull job when you drill right down to it, but can she do more? Could she have a larger impact again using the bully pulpit?
So I know she's a political newcomer, and she's had a really deep education background, so I think it'll be very interesting to see somebody with that level of experience coming into this position. She is a big public education advocate, and so it'd be curious to see how she weighs in the charter schools. I do think she has a commitment to being education first for all Arizonans. So again, I think she's going to take that education mentality that she has as an educator in. And it'll be remaining to be seen what she does with that position. But I think there's a lot of repair work that has to be done first. That I think that's going to be probably the first focus.
Inside the building, excellent point. Lisa Fernandez, Meghan Cox, thanks so much for joining us. When we come back, the Red for Ed movement was one of the top stories of 2018. What do organizers have in store for this year? Stay with us.